how you want to play it, huh? Okay. Let me dominate this person's ego by using the power of psychology and enough rapid fire words to make an admissions counselor blush so that they'll be forced to admit that Black Lives Matter. Shawty, why you only see you in my dreams? How my mind away you take my fantasy. Hello, and welcome back to my channel. If you like that energy, tune in next week for another clickbait title followed by a catfish teaser. I'm an introvert, so I spent half the day hiding from my wife for those 10 seconds of enthusiasm. Today I'll be sharing a Facebook conversation I had with someone who seemed overly concerned with rioting, and then answer some of the questions from my last video. Let's get into it. I spent the last 2 years of high school at a Christian school. This is where I met, let's call them Alex. Do not try to figure out who he or she is. It's important to note that this was an individual who I physically met in real life. There are plenty of people online who post things with which I disagree. I'm not a forum warrior. I don't join groups with names like Wives Against Integration and try to convince them of the error of their ways. If you're going to engage someone in their space, their YouTube channel, their Facebook, Instagram pic, whatever, you should try to pick a person with whom you have a personal relationship. The other aspect of choosing your audience is talking to someone who hasn't gone all the way down the rabbit hole. You're unlikely to convince the guy who wears clothing with a Confederate flag while rolling coal on a souped-up pickup truck and referring to minorities as the blacks or the Mexicans that Get Out is a great movie that they would probably enjoy. I warned you before that this was a clickbait title, and here's why. The person that I challenged isn't racist. The problem with their post is that it treats rioting as equivalently grievous to the cause of the riots. It doesn't matter if you're black, white, yellow, red, blue, whatever. The spotlight needs to be on criminal justice reform. I don't condone senseless looting and rioting, but I'm not going to give it more than the 5% of attention it deserves. When this post showed up on my timeline, I thought, great. Another person who doesn't get it. However, before I posted anything, I took the time to go to his page and see if this was part of a larger conversation. It was not, and that is the problem. As a scientist, I know the importance of nuance and of being cognizant of the fact that few things are black and white. However, as a Christian, I know that people are more than property. The post is from a black man, clearly to other black people. I have to pause here as well. I don't believe in policing every single word that comes out of each individual's mouth, but there are consequences for our actions, and words have power. If you're a white person quoting a black person, speaking to other black people about racial issues, you're going to come across as disingenuous or insensitive at best. Here's a free tip. Don't use black voices as a mouthpiece for your own opinions. Have the courage to speak for yourself and be prepared to defend your beliefs rather than try to preemptively deflect potential backlash by quoting someone else. Dear all Tampa rioters and looters, as a person of color, we have been fighting for 236 years for freedom and equality. We have fought for the right to drink from the same water fountain. We have fought to walk down the same street and look at whoever we wanted without consequences. We fight to be able to walk into any store and not be followed by security because of the color of our skin or financial status. Okay, this sounds good to me. I like where this is headed. Let's keep going. In your greed and anger last night, you have erased the hard work of all the people who have given their life so you don't have to feel the weight that they felt. Nope, not possible. Moving on. The true way we are going to change America is not through looting or rioting. It is when our white, Jewish, Hispanic, Native American, Middle Eastern, and Asian brothers and sisters join us hand in hand. When the churches say we had enough, that's when true change will happen. Well said. Couldn't agree more. I'm not in love with the wording of the post, but the message is pretty decent. Once again, my issue is with people who claim to be followers of Christ, don't have anything to say about the life that was taken, but feel the need to speak up for the sanctity of property. So I sent this message. I thought it was a relatively low-stakes comment, but here's his reply. Unlike most, My response to racial reconciliation isn't limited to my Facebook account. Thank you, however, for assigning a value to what I post. You, sir, are an idiot. I was ready to light them up. Triumphant Tiff was like, oh, for real? Let me at him. I was about to Elizabeth Warren them, give them that heat that they need for Trump, but took a couple deep breaths, collected myself, try not to let too much tone get into my comment, but you can hear the edge still. Here's what I said. Is this really how you want to respond? You had the option of actually using your platform for racial reconciliation. However, you chose to talk about how you've done this work elsewhere and not address the fact that this was the one thing that you felt was worth posting. And to cap it all off by insulting the intelligence of a black man. At the risk of sounding conceited, my intelligence is unassailable. I wanted to make it clear that I was not offended by his insult. I know how smart I am, and in my opinion, more importantly, I know how smart I am not. I wasn't the smartest person in my high school graduating class of only 40, and I've spent my adult life around increasingly intelligent and accomplished people. I definitely could have responded with more humility, but I'm still working on myself. The gauntlet has been thrown. What's his response going to be? Disappointing, but not surprising. This is what happens when you bring a knife to the gunfight. King Kong ain't got nothing on. Did I win the argument? Not really. In my opinion, they took the coward's way out and laughed it off. Was it originally even my goal to argue? Actually, no. Well, did I convince them to change their mind? Of course not. So I reply with this. I hope you continue to do the racial reconciliation you're doing elsewhere, and I encourage you to go back and visit the page that he quoted. It turns out that the OP, original poster, had a lot to say about police violence and racial inequality. My friend, however, decided to share the one post that condemned rioting. If I had done my research more thoroughly, I would have known that before I posted anything. I could have started by saying, your post doesn't seem to accurately portray this guy's stance, which might have been tangential enough to allow them to have a conversation with me instead of just shutting all the way down. I had a feeling our exchange wasn't going to be on Facebook for so long, so I saved the page right before sending my last message. Within hours, the conversation was deleted and replaced with this. I don't know why they deleted it. Did they change their mind and decide that they were being insensitive? Did the company they worked with tell them to remove it? Oh, okay. Did I accomplish anything at all? What was the point of this video again? You can't force someone to change their point of view or admit fault, but you can say, hey, I'm not just going to be silent when someone in my circle is saying something that I fundamentally disagree with. I'm going to make sure that I hear what they are saying, do my research, and challenge them without condemning them. I'm not going to let their aggressiveness or defensiveness get me riled up. I'm going to do it consistently, knowing that I may never change their mind. Soapy Sacks asks, what inspired me to overcome? Responsibility. I'm blessed. I have a family that loves me and provided me with everything I needed. Not everything I wanted, but everything I needed. I have 2 parents with advanced degrees, and I feel the need to pay that forward. There are people with less that have done more. The least I can do is my best. Carolyn Walker asks, what has your challenges throughout your life taught you? Be satisfied with your best. Live out your values, and you won't have regrets. Enjoy the journey, because there will always be another hill to climb. And in that same vein, do what you love. Find something, someone that you love, and make time to do it. If you don't have to do it, and you don't love doing it, don't do it.